raindrops are falling on my head. And just like the guy's feet are too big for his bed, nothing seems to fit. Those raindrops are falling on my head, and they keep falling.
You need to see this. It's something that'll change the world and human life as we know it.
He knows. He's seen the light.
When Monty talks, it's painful.
Monty, you have been so instrumental in kind of pointing me in the right direction.
It was about looking at your character defects in spirituality.
It's the integration of clinical practices with the 12 steps.
It's an absolute pleasure. He certainly knows a lot of people. He's got a lot of energy, and sometimes when you don't have so much energy, he picks you up and carries you.
Having the Monty man there certainly helps.
This is one of the places that is about the business of the solution.
The views expressed on this special broadcast of the Take 12 radio show do not necessarily reflect those of KHLT Recovery Broadcasting or its affiliates. KHLT is not affiliated with any particular 12-step fellowship.
Now here's that guy who's getting less popular minute by minute. Your host, the Monty Man.
Well, greetings one and all. Welcome aboard the Good Ship Recovery here at Take12Radio.com on your internet dial, broadcasting in the wonderful studios of KHLT Recovery Broadcasting, located on the outskirts of beautiful downtown Albany, Oregon. It's good to have you with us. Hey, listen, are you gearing up for September? Let me tell you, we're celebrating 25 years of National Recovery Month. September coming up right around the corner. And there's lots of activities going on from East Coast to West Coast and around the world, celebrating the hope that is recovery. Listen, you guys, we do a lot of stuff, don't we? We go to meetings, we sponsor people, we put up with nonsense, we create nonsense. We argue back and forth, which fellowship is better, which method is the right one, on and on and on and on. But there's sometimes when we just need to put down the right fighting and come together and say, there's unity in this thing. Because if the rest of the world doesn't see our unity, they're not going to be convinced that recovery works. And we are talking about the number one health threat in our world, addiction, number one. And because of stigma, recovery from that gets the least amount of attention. And part of that is due to our right fighting against each other. It's time to put that down, at least in September. Get on the bandwagon with me, would you please? It's so vitally important. Well, one of the ways that we come together in agreement is to celebrate National Recovery Month. And I'm just so pleased and so honored to have Patty Katz on with me today. She is one of the co-founders of what is called Hands Across the Bridge, specifically Vancouver to Portland and back. And Patty is somebody that has been doing this for a very long time, and she's been doing it right. Patty, welcome to the show.
Thanks a lot for having me on.
Patty, before we talk about Hands Across the Bridge and what's coming up here very shortly, let's talk about Patty for a minute. Are you a person that yourself are in recovery, or are you a family member of? What's your story?
Well, my story is my name is Patty Katz. I'm a woman in long-term recovery, which means I haven't used any alcohol or other drugs since 2000. And for that, I'm very grateful to live a life in recovery. What recovery's done to me is it's brought back my family into my life. It's given me an opportunity to be a really good employee. It's given me an opportunity to be a strong woman in the recovery community and in my community as a whole. It's given my grandchildren an opportunity. Many of my grandchildren have never seen me missing in action. They only know their Nana as a sober woman in recovery.
Well, what a wonderful gift to give them. And there are people listening right now who perhaps are just starting their journey. What would you say to encourage them?
You know, it looks like such a long, long way from where you're standing to get where I am. And I remember coming into recovery and going, oh my gosh, my sister has a house. My other daughter just bought a house. They have new cars. They're getting a pension from their work, and everything to me looked so far away. It looked like I was looking at a big, big, long tunnel. And the woman that helped me along my journey said, you know, you have to measure your own worth by your own yardstick. You cannot measure your worth by anyone else's yardstick. So we put some butcher block paper on my wall, and we made it look like a big yardstick. And every day I had to write some little tiny thing, an accomplishment, so that I could begin to develop my own yardstick of self-worth. And some days it was, went to the grocery store, did not steal a bottle of spices. Some days it was, went to 2 meetings today. Some days it was, I was down in the dumps and I just read pages from my recovery book. Some days it was, I had a great meditation with my sponsor today. Every day I marked down something, and pretty soon we had to add another piece of butcher paper to my wall, and I drew another yardstick up there, and pretty soon that was full, and I had it on my closet door, and next to that I put another butcher block paper, and pretty soon I was measuring my own self-worth by all of the behaviors that I had changed one day at a time on my yardstick wall. And pretty soon, just by changing one behavior every day and doing one positive thing every day and not sliding backwards, I was able to see that I was able to see the self-worth that I was creating for myself. I was able to see how my behaviors were changing, and it was really a good tool for me.
Wow, that is really impressive. I've never heard of that being done before like that, and what an important way and a vital way to really look from whence you came, because we all struggle with that. You know, have I really accomplished anything? Am I really worthwhile? Am I really a productive member of society today? And then, you know, people that love us say, well, you know, kind of look back where you came from and look where you are today. And that's easy for someone to say, but man, when you have it in front of you, in black and white, it's hard to deny, isn't it?
It is, and it made a very big difference for me because I was older when I came into recovery, and I was so far behind everyone who was ahead of me, and I just, you know, people go, you just one day at a time, and that didn't make sense to me. One day at a time. Well, of course, everything is one day at a time. My addiction was one day at a time.
Sure.
Everything is one day at a time, and none of that jargon made any sense to me. However, when I started measuring my own worth with my own yardstick, then I was able to see. And every day I woke up, and I kind of thought, and, you know, my sponsor said, I don't care if you're on step 1, we're doing step 11. I'm teaching you step 11. I'm teaching you step 11. You know, sought through prayer and meditation to improve my conscious contact with God as I understood Him, praying only for knowledge of His will for me and the power to carry that out. And I just kept going, okay, not my will, His will, not my will, His will. And I wonder what today's going to bring. Oh, my gosh. And so I would just do these meditations in the morning to kind of calm me down a little bit and learn how to put one foot in front of the other and learn how to pat myself on the back.
Mm-hmm.
And not in a prideful way,
right?
But in a good job, Patty kind of a way.
Yeah, you bet. And people, sometimes even in our 12-step support meetings, we'll kind of get the impression that we're not supposed to congratulate ourselves. But really, I think we are. It's okay to, because when we say to ourselves, you know what? You really did a good job here. What we're really saying is God did not create junk. He did a good job, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And when we're doing, this is some more jargon, but when we're doing the next right thing, when we wake up in the morning and we have pure intentions to do the next right thing, some days, and I started out with this, they're at the end of my addiction, and I know this isn't about addiction, this is about recovery, but at the last week of my addiction, I'm an IV drug user, and I had big holes in my arm, and the Needle Exchange did an intervention on me and took me to Good Samaritan Hospital in Portland, and the doctor looked at me and he said, "Oh my God, you're going to lose your arms." And I said, "Where would I lose my arms?" And he said, "Ma'am, if you don't stop shooting dope, we're going to have to amputate your arms." And I said, "Oh my God, if you cut off my arms, how will I shoot my dope?"
Uh-huh.
And that's where I was.
Yeah.
The last week of January of 2000, and so I went home and I tried to make my toes smart enough to hold a syringe so when they cut off my arms, I would be okay. And the February 1st of 2000, I got a vision of my of a little old lady sitting on a bed without any arms, trying to pick up a syringe with her toes off the floor. And I, at that moment, shouted out, "Dude, if you're out there, you've got to help me, because I can't do this anymore on my own." And nothing happened. And I went to sleep, had a little nap. Dude got busy, and when I woke up, I was fortunate enough to get arrested the next day and I was in jail for 3 months. And but ever since that prayer, I have never wanted another drug, and I have never done another drug. And it was that in the fellowship I belong to, it's as we stood at the turning point. We asked care with complete abandon.
Yes.
Boom! I just reached out, and that was kind of a step 1, 2, and 3 for me, because at that moment I turned my will and my life over, and I still don't have a really traditional kind of higher power. I used to, for about the first 2 or 3 years, I called my higher power Dude, but it came from such an honest heart and such a place of sincerity that my higher power said, "I don't care what you call me, Patty, just call me." And so I was, I had Dude for a long time, and then my higher power has turned into, he's graduated from Dude, and I'm not a church religious kind of a person, but I have a conscious contact with a God of my understanding, and I don't know if we're supposed to be talking about National Recovery Month, but I'm so excited to say this part. When it said, develop a conscious contact with a God of your understanding, I went, what does that mean? What does that mean? And so I thought, okay. And so wherever I went, I would open the door first. I would open the door so Dude could go in first. And then when I got into my car, I opened the passenger door so Dude could get in first. And I still smoked cigarettes in those days, and when I was going to have a cigarette, Dude was a non-smoker, so I would pull over to the side of the road, and I would get out of my car, and I would have a cigarette because I didn't want to pollute Dude. And I just had to act as if Dude.
Wow.
And then it was and I got clean and sober in February 2nd of 2000, and the day after my Yodud prayer. But my first visible spiritual, or the first recollection I have of a spiritual experience, I had some little muges along the way, but the first one that was just amazing to me was I came home and I was living in a house. It was called YW Housing. It was over in Vancouver, Washington, and it was all women who wanted to change their lives. Some were there as a safe house from domestic violence. Some of us were just trying to figure out how to live in this life without drugs and alcohol with the support of a house behind us. And we had a split-level house, and my bedroom was downstairs, and it was a rainy, dark kind of a night, and I turned on the light to go down to the lower level, and it burned out, so I had to kind of feel my way down through the darkness, and I unlocked my bedroom door, and I went into my bedroom, and I turned on the light, and all of a sudden I realized that the light had more power than the darkness. And I turned off the light, and I went, oh my gosh, the darkness is still here. And I turned on the light, and I realized at that point that the light had more power than the dark. The darkness would always be living inside of me. And every day when I wake up, that's why I renew my relationship with my higher power every day. But if I turn the light on of my higher power, it will consume the darkness for that day. And it's just something I have to do. I've done every day for 14 plus years, as I renew that. And sometimes that my prayer is, thank you for removing my desire to drink. Thank you for removing my desire to use. I will not hurt my family. I will not hurt or lie to my family if you continue to... I will not hurt, I will not lie, I will not steal if you continue to remove my desire. And then at nighttime I just say thank you for removing my desire. And when I wake up in the morning, I say that again. I renew that every day because we have one day at a time. And so if it works for me every day for the last 14 years, do it again today,
Yeah. What a powerful story. What a tremendously powerful story. Congratulations. I think it's just wonderful. It's just wonderful. And I really love what you said about renewing yourself every day. It's true. We need to renew ourselves daily. We need to die to ourselves daily. We need to take off the old, put on the new, and do it on a daily basis. I have to do that too, because I can't skate through today on yesterday's stuff. I just can't, because I have a great forgetter, that is powerful, Patty. I am so glad you shared that. I really, really am. Hey, listen, we're going to take our first break, and when we come back, let's talk about how you got inspired to get involved with this whole idea of Hands Across the Bridge. Folks, don't go away. More with my guest, Patty Katz, when we come back. When it comes to drug and alcohol treatment, all of us here at Take 12 Radio understand how overwhelming it is to find the right facility for you and your loved one. The internet alone is flooded with drug and alcohol treatment centers claiming to be the one that can help achieve a life of abundance free from addiction. How can one possibly know which one to choose? Well, when you call Broad Highway Recovery for a drug and alcohol treatment referral, you will immediately know that the person who answers the phone is very passionate about making sure they recommend the best facility for the individual that's in need. They will narrow your search down to 3 drug rehab facilities based on the information that you provide. Each call is confidential, and each caller will be treated with the utmost respect and compassion. Look, you don't have to go through this alone. The folks at Broad Highway are interventionists that are 100% committed to helping your family. If you are willing to go to any length for your loved one, then they can help you begin the recovery process. Please call them today and take the first step towards a new and bright future on the broad highway of recovery from alcohol and drug addiction. Their toll-free number is 877-487-1599. That's 877-487-1599. Visit their website at broadhighwayrecovery.com.
Hey, dude.
Hey, bro.
Man, I am so excited about this year's National Recovery Month.
Why, bro?
Because, dude, on September 12th, 13th, and 14th, hundreds of recovery folks will be gathering in Vancouver, Washington in unity and purpose, dude.
Pardon me, bro, but what purpose?
Aw, dude, to celebrate the gift of recovery. Pay attention.
Really? What time, bro?
At 9 a.m. Friday morning, September 12th, an incredible recovery conference will kick off the event at the Red Lion Inn in Vancouver, Washington, dude. Exhibitors, speakers, and presenters will all come together as we break down the stigma of addiction, dude.
Yeah? Then what happens?
On Sunday, we'll walk on over to Esther Short Park for the powerful Hands Across the Bridge ceremony, dude, followed by Oxfest. You know, the sober living folks.
Can I bring my buddies?
Everyone's invited, dude, and it's free.
It's free?
Dude, what did I just say?
For details on all the events at the Recovery Northwest Project, visit recoverynw.org. Supported in part by the Clark County Department of Community Services, Alcohol and Drug Program, and the Clark County Substance Abuse Advisory Board.
But there's one thing I know.
Yes, indeedy.
They seem to greet me, won't defeat me.
B.J. Thomas. Gollies. One of my favorite all-time songs, Raindrops Keep Falling on My Head. But the blues, they ain't gonna defeat me. No sir, no way. And listen, it rains a lot in Oregon. We know that, and we've got a reputation to uphold for crying out loud. So come one, come all. I think the weather is going to be absolutely delightful. However, for the Recovery Northwest Project, which encompasses all of that stuff. That wonderful fellowship of the Spirit, everybody coming together. And so I just encourage you, listeners, to get on board with this thing. I really do. And on the phone with me is Patty Katz. Patty, so something happened, and you and another lady had a dream, a vision, a decision that you made that started this whole recovery Hands Across the Bridge thing, right?
Right. So, it was, my friend Louise Wedge and I, we were from the very bad old days together, and when I came into recovery, she was already a drug and alcohol counselor at a place called Hooper Detox, run by Central City Concern, and, so she was involved in another project called the Recovery Association Project, and I got, into that project, and it was an advocacy organization, and we came together and learned how to tell our stories to public officials and how to advocate for drug and alcohol treatment programs and the Recovery Mentor Program and a lot of things. We did a lot of good things back in those years. And as we were reading, I was just learning how to turn on the internet, and I was Googling recovery stuff, and I saw something called the Recovery Month, and I didn't know what Recovery Month meant, so I thought, well, Louise has been in recovery for a while, I'll ask her. And Louise said, I don't know what that means, and so we thought that maybe we should stand on the bridge at daybreak and just give thanks to our higher power that we weren't under the bridge in our addiction. And then we started listening, and we found out that the state of Oregon was going to be doing, they were having a planning meeting down in Salem. So Louise and I drove down to Salem and spoke with other folks from Oregon that were doing national government stuff. And so we told them that we were going to be on the I-5 bridge, the Interstate 5 bridge, because at that time I lived in Washington and she lived in Oregon. And we were going to stand on the bridge and we were going to give thanks that we were no longer, that our addiction didn't take us under the bridge.
Right.
And so we had a lot of staff people at that time that gave us a hand with that event, and somebody called the Department of Transportation to get a permit to assemble on the bridge, and they said, you want to put drug addicts and alcoholics on the bridge? And you can have the bridge at 6 a.m. So that first year we were out on the bridge at 6 a.m. And guess what? We did okay, and nobody got in trouble, and we didn't cause a riot or anything. And the next year they let us have it at, I think we had it at 8 a.m. the following year. And the next year they let us have it at 10. And the first year we had 200 people on the bridge. And I might be stretching the truth a little bit with 200, but we had less than 200 on the bridge. And, it's just grown and grown and grown. And we've grown into such grown-ups on the bridge that normally we have our event on Labor Day, and we assemble on the bridge at noon. However, this year, because Oxford World Convention is coming to Portland, we have changed our date and we have changed our time to be able to accommodate the folks that came from all over the United States for the Oxford House Convention. It's called Oxford World, and so it gets over at 10:30 a.m. on September 14th, and then folks will come in buses out to the Red Lion on the River Hotel, and we will start assembling in Oregon and in Washington. And our event will start out with Native American drumming. It will start at about 11:45, and then our event at noon starts, and we will be at the Red Lion on the river in Jansen Beach on the Oregon side, and then over in Washington they will be at Esther Short Park. The ceremonies will be pretty much the same on either side of the river. We're very honored this year to have Yvette Torres come out from Washington, D.C. She works for SAMHSA, which is Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration. Right. And she's just a wonderful person, and she is the coordinator for Recovery Month celebrations. But she's coming out here to celebrate with us. And so she'll appear both on the Oregon and the Washington side. On the Oregon side, we have from the Oregon Health Authority, we have Dr. Pam Martin, and she will bring the proclamation from the governor of Oregon and read it at our event. On the Washington side, we'll have Shyler Haas, who comes. He's the liaison for the governor of Washington State, and he will bring the proclamation from the governor and read it. We have people telling stories. We have this year on the Oregon side, we're really excited. Marty Walker will be one of our MCs, and Marty Walker was in his addiction in Portland, and he found recovery in Portland, and he now works for Oxford House Inc., and he lives down in Louisiana, but he comes up here as often as he can for our events, and he's going to be one of the MCs. Our theme this year is around Oxford houses because the World Convention is here to celebrate, and I was in YW housing, which was supportive housing for women, and people that have the opportunity to get into some kind of supportive housing or houses where everybody in the house is in recovery. That's a really good opportunity and a really good platform to start your recovery. And so we've got our ceremony. It'll open with Native American drumming. Then there will be a prayer to honor all faiths, and then we'll do a roll call. Who's all here? We're getting Multnomah County is giving us a lot of financial and support this year, and people like, I don't want to miss anybody, but CODA and Central City Concern and ACBO and Clark County Community Services and Lifeline Connections. We're it costs a lot of money to have this event.
Yeah.
People don't think about when they make a donation that your donation might be going to buy a porta potty, but you cannot have 3,000 people if you don't have some porta potties.
That's right.
And it costs money for the park permit, and it costs money for the for the insurance policies in case, God forbid, anybody gets hurt, and the porta potties and the sound system and the safety vests. And we have 120 people that are on our safety team. 60 from Oregon and 60 from Washington. And so we've got all of these people that are on our safety team, and we have a host of planners, and we have so many people that are involved in our events that it's really an opportunity for people to come together and honor and celebrate every month.
Well, this is just a powerful event. This is a powerful statement, listeners, and like Patty is mentioning and doing it so well, is this isn't just a bunch of people just decided to get up in the morning and go stand on the bridge. There's so much organization to putting on something like this. There's financial challenges that are just huge. It doesn't take a village. It takes an entire city, counties, law enforcement, a recovery community. And from what I understand, Patty, some of the departments of corrections are actually granting travel passes to some of their folks who are on probation who are not allowed to leave the state, so they can actually.
For Multnomah County, Washington County, and Clackamas County especially, the heads of community corrections tells their staff, tells all the POs, the probation and parole and post-prison supervision officers, if someone is doing the right thing, if someone's following the rules, just give them a trip permit for that day. And then other counties, when people call me, I will call their community corrections person and say, this is who we are, blah, blah, blah. And it works out really, really well. And I talk at the Governor's Reentry Council. I sit on a working group for the Governor's Reentry Council of Oregon, and so I make sure community corrections gets all of that information about trip permits and stuff. So yeah, you go over there and celebrate, because you're with people. People see you on the bridge, or people see you at the celebration afterwards, and they might be new to recovery. We have so many inpatient treatment centers that bring their clients on that day, and so these brand new people in recovery will go, oh my God, you're in recovery? Oh, I haven't seen you in years. I thought you had died.
Yeah.
Here we have all these people seeing one another, and it makes me want to cry. I swear, it's just an amazing event to watch people from their old lives find out that there's a new way of life.
You bet.
And, it's just such an opportunity.
It is. So listen, listeners, if you're like my buddy who said to me the other day, well, I can't go because I can't leave the state. I said, hey, I got some good news for you. You need to talk to your probation officer because guess what? You can get a travel pass. You know, folks, step up and get your travel pass. Go to the event. Listen, we got to take our next break, and when we come back, we'll talk more with Patty Katz about Hands Across the Bridge and this wonderful event that's going on coming up September 12th, 13th, and 14th, beginning with the Recovery Convention at the Red Lion. Take 12 Radio will be there. We'll be walking around with our mobile microphone, so look out because I may come up to you and ask you to share a little of your experience, strength, and hope. Folks, don't go away. We'll be right back.
As men and women who have recovered from utterly hopeless states of addiction ourselves, we know all too well what it's like to battle addiction daily. We are Origins Recovery Centers. Here at Origins, we have taken that which we have learned along the way, excised anything unhelpful and unnecessary, infused it with the latest medical research and innovative therapeutic methods, and created what we know to be the absolute gold standard in substance abuse treatment. And Origins provides the most preeminent aftercare and relapse prevention program available in the United States. For a free confidential clinical assessment, call toll-free 888-843-8935. That's 888-843-8935. Origins, delivering real solutions for real families.
Sober Chat is the first ever location-sensitive mobile chat application designed to instantly connect people who share the common goal of staying sober. Sober Chat will revitalize and revolutionize 12-stepping as we know it. At any time of the day or night, you can simply log on and help someone by making phone contact, taking someone to a meeting for coffee, or chatting via text messaging on the Sober Chat mobile application. Register now for your download of the Sober Chat app. Visit SoberChatApp.com. The power of sharing is at your fingertips. Sober Chat, the app that saves lives. Sober Chat is not a replacement for attending 12-step meetings, sponsorship, or working the 12 steps.
He's a little crazy, but then again, you already knew that.
I got in like 3 fights when I was in grade school. All 3 of them were with the bully. You know, we all know who they are. They're always a little bit bigger, they kind of smelly, and we duke it out. And after he beat the snot out of me, I'd say, you come back tomorrow and I'll give you more of that.
It's the Bill Post Radio Show. Bill Post Radio Show. Weekdays at noon.
Hooked on a feeling. I'm high on believing that you're in love.
Yes, indeedy. Hooked on a feeling. I am high on believing that God, you are in love with me. Folks, listen, your higher power doesn't just love you. He likes you. You can take that to the bank. My guest, Patty Katz, Hands Across the Bridge. We're talking about this wonderful ceremony that is going to be taking place specifically on the 14th, Sunday, September 14th. This gets kicked off with a 2-day recovery convention at the Red Lion there in Vancouver. I will be there. We'll have a table there, but we're not an exhibitor. We're going to be working. Nathan Adams, my co-host, hopefully is going to be able to make it. Our public relations person, Marsha Meyer, she will be there as well. And I will be there with my microphone, walking around, me and my cane, and I may just talk to you. So don't run away from me if you see me. Shake hands with the Monty man. We'll get you on the air and share a little bit about your experience, strength, and hope, and how you're enjoying the convention, the Hands Across the Bridge, Oxfest. It's going to be a wonderful time of fellowship where people come together in unity and purpose. Patty Katz is my guest. Patty, okay, so how many years now? This is how many years for Hands Across the Bridge?
We are celebrating our 13th year this year.
13, and it grows every year, true?
Oh my gosh, yes. You know, like I told you, the first year we had less than 200 people on the bridge.
Yeah.
Last year we had 2,646 or 2,464, one of those two. And this year we're expecting even more. we've been working with Department of Transportation, ODOT,
to
make sure that we're able to handle all emergencies. That's why we have 120 safety people on the bridge. When you have that many people, it's very important that people do not disrupt traffic.
Right.
We have the traffic on the bridge continues to go, and everybody sort of wants to turn around and lean out into traffic and kind of show off and do that little thing where they put their hand up in the air for trucks and kind of pull on an imaginary horn blower.
Right.
Say, toot your horn at us. But, our attention doesn't need to be turned to traffic. Our attention needs to be turned to the event. And the event is, as we are on the bridge, we're facing east. We're facing over the Columbia River.
Right.
And we form a human chain, and Tidewater tugboats have been so generous with us. Every year they send 1 or 2 tugboats, and a couple of our folks are on the tugboat. Next year it's going to be me, because it will not be my turn to organize this event anymore. But we have folks on our from our teams that are on the tugboat, and so when they see us all on the bridge, and Tidewater works so well with us on this, but when our people on the tugboat see us all assembled, they tell the Tidewater tugboat operator, toot your horn 1 time, and at that time everybody gets ready. Toot your horn 2 times, everybody holds hands. When they toot the horn 3 times, people say the Serenity Prayer. And when you have more than 2,500 people forming a human chain and saying the Serenity Prayer in one voice, it is so powerful.
Wow.
Hear it on the shores. You can hear it over the traffic. You can hear one unified voice saying one Serenity Prayer. And it is amazing. And people that are a little unsure of who or what their higher power is, come on the bridge. You will feel your higher power. You will know that God's on the bridge.
Wow.
And it's just an amazing event. And we've tried for years to get it all together, and finally we started coordinating with the tugboat. Tugboat toots once, get ready. Tugboat toots twice, hold hands. Tugboat toots 3 times, say the Serenity Prayer. And it is amazing to hear that prayer. They can hear it over the engines of the tugboats.
That is just, I just can't wait. I'm getting goosebumps right now. I really am. It just No,
I don't call those goosebumps. I call those spirit bumps.
There you go. I was just gonna say I call them God bumps sometimes. I got a buddy called them
God bumps, spirit bumps.
Yeah, they're great. They're awesome. I'm just tingling all over. And you know what's going to be so much fun for us for Take 12 Radio is on the 12th and 13th, we're going to be working. We're going to be at the convention piece. But on the 14th, we're going to put away our table, and we're going to come out. And this is something we rarely get to do, because when we go to conventions and symposiums and do all that kind of thing, we are working our tail off every single minute. And what we're going to do this year is we're going to come out, and we're just, when it comes time to do the Hands Across the Bridge, we're just going to join everybody and blend in and be part of and put the microphone down and just focus on being grateful to God for this beautiful thing called recovery and be part of the entire ceremony. So I'm so excited about being able to do that. Patty, you've done a tremendous amount of work. I mean, every single year you're doing this. Now, I would be remiss if I didn't mention that you're involved in Faces and Voices, are you not?
I am. We are, I'm your regional representative for Faces and Voices of Recovery. And in fact, I have to, when I jump off this call, I'm hosting our membership call for Faces and Voices of Recovery. But it's, it's such an honor to represent Oregon and Washington and Idaho and Alaska at a national table with like-minded folks from all over. There's 23 million people in recovery in the United States, and when we come together, when we organize with one voice, that voice could be as powerful, or could be even more powerful, much more powerful, than the prayer from the bridge. If we came together with one voice and one vote, recovery votes count. If we came together and we voted and we advocated for more drug and alcohol treatment and more recovery support services, we could be able to help. There's 23 million of us in recovery, and there's 23 million people that are seeking recovery or should be in recovery, or their parents are praying they're in recovery, or their children are praying that their parents get into recovery. We have 23 million people that are stuck in the disparities of the disease of addiction, and if we could each vote and have a voice to make sure that the people coming behind us have opportunities just like we had, then we could be a powerful force to reckon with. And so I try to empower people by making sure you're registered to vote. And if people go, my vote doesn't count. On state and local issues, your vote does count.
You bet.
Because, we have, the recovery community has come together in 2000, and we got a recovery mentor program started in Multnomah County because we came together. We went to city council, we went to state government, we went to county council, and we got the first recovery mentor program in Portland. Now, and we went out to Washington County in Hillsborough, and we got a recovery mentor program started. Now they have 5 programs out there. We went to, in Multnomah County has tons. I don't even know how many recovery mentor programs they have. Clackamas County has recovery mentor programs. I sit on a board of directors for Bridges to Change, and we have folks coming out of prison or treatment and get into stable housing so that they can learn how to live. And I told you, stable housing is what helped me. I have thousands of men and women in Oxford, and now there's even more accountability with some of these new people or these new programs coming, because you have a recovery mentor that helps you learn how to live in the community without drugs and alcohol. All of us do pretty well in treatment or jail or detox or prison, but when we get out, we don't know how to live sober.
That's right.
Communities.
You make a really good point because we've had several recovery mentors and recovery coaches on the show, and some people, they don't like that because they say, well, why have a sponsor and da-da-da-da. I'm like, look, your sponsor is there to, if you're following the directions of the program, your sponsor is there to help you walk through the step process and recover from a seemingly hopeless state of mind and body through the process of working the steps. But, many of us, we didn't know how to make a budget. We didn't know how to pay our bills. We didn't know how to go get a job. We didn't know how to write a resume. We didn't know how to do any of that stuff. That's not a sponsor's job. That's why you need a mentor. And that's so important. I'm so glad you brought that up.
Well, I work hand in hand with Iron Tribe, and I'm on the board of directors for Bridges to Change. And I so believe that and my recovery sponsor was amazing. She taught me a lot of stuff. She taught me stuff that wasn't even in the book, like how to measure my own worth on my own yardstick. But I self-appointed. It was right before the mentor program started. I self-appointed myself a mentor, and I found 3 other women. I found 2 other women. There were 3 of us, And he just drove us around, got us to our appointments. He said, you did dope every day, you drink every day, have service every day. And he had us down at the Share House over in Vancouver chopping vegetables for lunch. And he had us signing up at a recovery club to cover a shift. For 10 months, until I got my first job at Hoover Detox, for 10 months, I did 4 hours of service in my community every single day, 7 days a week, because that's how I did my drugs. He had me doing something for somebody else 4 hours every day and hitting 2 meetings a day. I would not have even thought of that on my own. And I'm not saying that's what it's going to take for everybody.
Sure.
That's really the magic that happened for me.
That's wonderful. Patty, we're almost out of time. I have to take one more break, and we come back. We're going to wrap this thing up. Folks, Patty Katz, my guest, regional representative for Faces and Voices of Recovery, co-founder of Hands Across the Bridge. Don't go away. We'll be right back. Serenity Springs Recovery Center, located on the beautiful east coast of Florida. A unique facility that is committed to providing exceptional individual care in small group settings while utilizing their experienced and dedicated clinical and support staff of licensed therapists and doctors. Visit their website, serenityspringsrecovery.com, or call 386-423-4540. Serenity Springs, making a life-changing investment into your recovery. Zippity-doo-dah-day. There's only one radio station on the internet that plays recovery music, Christian contemporary, jazz, and rock, and that is Take12Radio.com.
Men, women, and their families experience tremendous pain and suffering due to the struggles they face from substance abuse and its co-occurring mental health challenges. They need to find a safe place for peace and healing. Therapia Addiction Healing Center was born out of a deep desire to provide that safe and powerful healing environment. Therapia exists to help people recover from addictions by developing and maintaining healthy, meaningful relationships with God, self, and others. To speak with an addiction specialist, call 1-855-652-4325. That's 1-855-652-4325. Or visit our website at www.therapia.net. Therapia Addiction Healing Center, restoring lives one step at a time.
Hey, September is National Recovery Month, and the Recovery Northwest Project, September 12th through the 14th, beginning Friday at 9 a.m. with an incredible 2-day conference at the Red Lion, Vancouver, featuring the movers and shakers of the recovery community. Then on Sunday, we'll move on over to beautiful Esther Short Park after the recovery walk and to join the powerful Hands Across the Bridge ceremony. Exhibitors, music, speakers, fun, food, and the power in numbers as hundreds of us gather to celebrate National Recovery Month at the Recovery Northwest Project, Vancouver, Washington. Visit recoverynw.org for details on all the events. Supported in part by the Clark County Department of Community Services Alcohol and Drug Program and the Clark County Substance Abuse Advisory Board.
Sweet Caroline, good times never seem so good.
That's right, and you want to have a good time in recovery, let me tell you, do not miss Hands Across the Bridge. Do not miss the Recovery Northwest Project, September 12th, 13th, and 14th. You don't want to miss it. Celebrating 25 years of National Recovery Month. By the way, folks, if you'd like to visit the website for Hands Across the Bridge, it's handsacrossthebridge.org. And you can click on the links right here on Friday's page. This show will be up all week, and then, of course, it'll be in our archives as well. Handsacrossthebridge.org if you want to visit, and there's some great pictures and some great articles. Please check that out. Patty Katz has been my guest. She is the regional representative for Faces, Voices of Recovery. She's the co-founder of Hands Across the Bridge. She is one of the movers and shakers. She is a person who is dedicated much of her life to you, my friends, to helping you, giving away what has been freely given to her, and doing it one day at a time. every single day. Patty, I want to thank you so much for taking time to be with us today.
Thanks so much. And I just wanted to say, if you go to our website, handsacrossthebridge.org, you will see that I am not a very, I need help with my website. And the person that did most of our web design passed away last year, Tony Perkins. I might cry. He was, instrumental. He was on the board of directors for Hands Across the Bridge. He was instrumental with Oxfest and growing it to the event it is today. And so if anybody wants to help with the website, please, get hold of me. Can I say my phone number here?
Absolutely, you sure can.
360-903-4645. If I don't answer right away, just give me a call back, 360-903-4645. I'd like to thank you so much for this opportunity to be on your show. And to your listeners, I hope to see you on the bridge. Help form that human chain of solidarity for National Recovery Month. Thanks so much.
Absolutely. My guest, Patty Katz. Patty, stay on the phone. Don't hang up. Folks, don't forget to be there. It's going to be absolutely phenomenal. All right? All right, listen, go back, rewind the copies of the show, give it to your friends, do whatever. But listen, do something right now that'll make the person you'll be tomorrow proud to have been the person you are today. Until our next broadcast, this is the Monty Man along with Patty Katz. We're wishing God's perfect serenity for you. God bless everybody.
This has been a broadcast of KHLT Recovery Broadcasting.
Kitty, 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 kitty.